Chapter 6. Dangerous Temptations. The Montgomery Industries conference room feels different after a few minutes. Nathan sits at the gleaming mahogany table, his portfolio spread before him, acutely aware of Celeste Montgomery's gaze from across the table. Sunlight streams through the floor-to-ceiling windows, illuminating the sleek, modern space that contrasts with the old money power the Montgomery name represents. Unlike the previous meeting with the full board, the follow-up consists of only 3 people. Nathan, Mr. Montgomery, the silver-haired patriarch whose piercing blue eyes miss nothing, and his daughter Celeste, whose presence commands attention like gravity. These revisions address the concerns you raised about brand continuity, Nathan explains, sliding a series of mock-ups across the polished surface. His voice remains steady despite the weight of Celeste's stare, which he feels like a physical touch against his skin. I've maintained the heritage elements while introducing contemporary design language that will appeal to younger demographics. Mr. Montgomery nods appreciatively, his weathered hands carefully examining each design. You've captured exactly what we're looking for, Mr. Blake. The balance between tradition and innovation is... He pauses, seeking the right word. Masterful. Thank you, sir. Nathan can't help but feel a surge of pride. This account represents everything he's worked toward since starting his design firm legitimacy, financial stability, connections to larger clients. Daddy, Celeste interrupts, her voice like honey with a subtle edge of steel beneath. Would you mind checking if Harrison has those market projection figures ready? I'd like to discuss budget implications with Mr. Blake. He checks his watch and rises from his chair. Good idea, I need to speak with Harrison anyway. He extends his hand to Nathan. Excellent work, young man. I believe this partnership will be fruitful for all involved. The moment the heavy door clicks shut behind the Montgomery patriarch, the atmosphere in the room shifts perceptibly. Celeste rises in a fluid motion, her tailored navy dress hugging curves that have graced numerous society magazine covers. She moves around the table with deliberate steps, her stiletto heels tapping a rhythmic cadence against the hardwood floor. Nathan, she purrs, settling into the chair directly beside him rather than across the table. May I call you Nathan now that we're going to be working so intimately together? Nathan shifts slightly, creating distance without being obvious. Of course, Ms. Montgomery. Celeste, she corrects, leaning forward. Her perfume's something expensive that probably costs more than his monthly rent envelops him. I insist. Celeste, he concedes, focusing intently on gathering his design sheets, rather than the way her dress dips low across her décolletage. I'm looking forward to working with Montgomery Industries. She laughs, a melodic sound that somehow manages to sound both genuine and calculated. So formal. Her manicured fingers brush against his as she reaches for one of the designs. These are truly exceptional. You have a remarkable eye for detail. Thank you, Nathan responds, withdrawing his hand from the accidental contact. I pride myself on understanding client needs. And what about understanding a woman's needs? Celeste's question hangs in the air between them, loaded with implication. Before Nathan can formulate a professional response, she continues. I've done my research on you, Nathan Blake. Graduated top of your class from the design program. Started your own firm rather than joining an established agency. Bold choices that suggest a man who knows what he wants. Her eyes, the same penetrating blue as her father's, lock onto his. I admire that quality. Nathan clears his throat. I appreciate the recognition of my professional accomplishments. I wasn't only referring to your professional qualities, she replies, her voice dropping lower. Though I must say, watching you present to the board was stimulating. You command attention effortlessly. I should mention that I have a girlfriend, Nathan states firmly, attempting to redirect the conversation to safer ground. We've been together for almost 3 years now. Celeste's perfectly sculpted eyebrows arch slightly, but her smile never wavers. How sweet. She leans closer, her knee brushing against his under the table. Is she in the industry? No, Nathan replies, subtly shifting his leg away. She works in a sales marketing firm. Fascinating, Celeste says with a dismissive wave of her hand that makes it clear she finds it anything but. Creative minds need creative stimulation, don't you think? Different perspectives, new experiences. Before Nathan can respond, she rises and moves to stand behind his chair. He can feel her presence like a warm shadow at his back. The Montgomery account will transform your business, she murmurs, her breath warm against his ear as she leans down, ostensibly to look at his portfolio again. That I could offer so much more. Connections to every major corporation in the city. Access to circles your girlfriend could never provide. Nathan stiffens, both at her proximity and her presumption. I'm quite satisfied with my personal life, Celeste, and I prefer to earn my professional opportunities based on merit. Her laugh tickles the hair at the nape of his neck. Such nobility. But we both know the world doesn't work that way. Her hand rests lightly on his shoulder, fingertips tracing small circles. The right relationship can open doors that talent alone never could. Nathan stands abruptly, breaking contact. I'm grateful for the opportunity to work with Montgomery Industries, but I want to be absolutely clear. I'm committed to my relationship, and I maintain strict professional boundaries with clients. Rather than appearing offended, Celeste's expression shifts to one of amused challenge. You know what they say about rules, Nathan, she purrs, perching on the edge of the conference table. Her dress rides up slightly, revealing more of her toned legs. They're made to be broken by people who understand that. Exceptionalism exists outside. Boundaries, not these rules, Nathan counters firmly. Though he can't help but acknowledge her stunning beauty a fact. She clearly knows how to weaponize. Her dark hair falls in perfect waves, framing features that could belong on a Renaissance painting. And her figure rivals those of the models, who grace the highest end fashion campaigns he's designed. We'll see, Celeste replies with a confident smile that suggests she views his resistance as merely the opening move in a longer game. I always get what I want, Nathan. Always. And right now, I want. The conference room door swings open, and Mr. Montgomery returns with a portfolio of his own. Sorry for the delay, he announces, seemingly oblivious to the tension permeating the room. Harrison had quite a bit to share about market projections. Perfect timing, Daddy, Celeste says, her demeanor instantly shifting to professional daughter mode. Nathan and I were just discussing how his design concepts align with our brand evolution. Strategy. Nathan nods, grateful for the interruption. Yes, I was explaining how the new typography creates visual continuity with your existing materials. The remainder of the meeting proceeds with formal business discussions, but Nathan remains acutely aware of Celeste's predatory gaze tracking his every movement. When they finally shake hands to conclude the meeting, her grip lingers longer than necessary, her thumbs stroking the inside of his wrist in a gesture concealed from her father's view. I'll be in touch personally about the next steps, she promises with a smile that holds secrets. Very personally. Nathan's key scrapes in the lock of Bella's apartment door as evening shadows lengthen across the city. The smell of garlic and herbs greets him as he steps inside Bella's celebration dinner still waiting, despite the meeting running hours longer than expected. There you are. Bella emerges from the kitchen, wiping her hands on a dish towel. Her face lights up at the sight of him, genuine joy radiating from her entire being. The contrast between her warm welcome and Celeste's calculated seduction couldn't be more stark. I was beginning to think Montgomery had kidnapped you to keep your design genius all to themselves. Nathan drops his portfolio and wraps his arms around her, burying his face in her hair. He inhales deeply, finding comfort in her familiar scent of lavender and vanilla so different from Celeste's expensive, exotic perfume. Sorry I'm late. The meeting ran long. It's fine, Bella assures him, pulling back to study his face. How did it go? Did they love the revisions? Of course they did. Your work is brilliant. They approved everything, Nathan confirms with a smile that doesn't quite reach his eyes. Montgomery Industries is officially my biggest client. I knew it, Bella exclaims, rising on her tiptoes to kiss him firmly. I'm so proud of you, Nathan. This is everything you've been working toward. His phone buzzes in his pocket, interrupting their moment. He pulls it out reflexively, then freezes when he sees the notification on the screen. Celeste Montgomery. Thinking about how good you look today. Dinner tomorrow. Just the two of us can discuss your designs in private. I promise to make it worth your while. Nathan's thumb quickly hits delete before Bella can see the message. His heart pounds as guilt washes over him, not for anything he's done, but for the secrecy that suddenly exists between them. Who was that? Bella asks casually, moving back toward the kitchen. Just a notification, he lies, shoving the phone deep into his pocket. Nothing important. Well, come tell me everything about the meeting, she calls over her shoulder. I want to hear every detail while we eat this feast I've prepared for the newest design star of Montgomery Industries. Nathan follows her into the kitchen, unease settling in his stomach like a stone. What has he gotten himself into? Celeste Montgomery clearly isn't accustomed to rejection, and her position could make or break his fledgling business. Yet pursuing any kind of personal relationship with her is unthinkable, not just because of his love for Bella, but because of the moral compromise it would represent. You're unusually quiet, Bella observes, handing him a glass of champagne. Is everything okay? Did something happen at the meeting? Nathan forces a smile, clinking his glass against hers. Everything's fine. Just processing the reality that I actually landed Montgomery Industries. It doesn't feel real yet. Ella studies him for a moment longer, her eyes searching his face. You tell me if something was wrong, right? Of course, he assures her, ignoring the twinge of guilt at the omission. What good would come from telling her about Celeste's advances? It would only cause unnecessary worry. He made his position clear to Celeste. Surely she'll move on to another target. As Bella turns to serve the carefully prepared meal, Nathan makes a silent resolution. He won't let Celeste Montgomery's predatory interest derail everything he's built. His business, his relationship, his integrity. He'll maintain strict professionalism, redirect any inappropriate overtures, and if necessary, he'll find a way to work with other executives at Montgomery Industries. This is just a temporary complication, he tells himself, one he can handle without disrupting the life he loves. His phone buzzes again in his pocket, but this time he ignores it completely.